make the announcement on my Discord as well. Nice. Okay. Okay, let me refresh my chat. Okay. Okay. I'm moving my hands to see if it's not lagging because oh, it's not lagging. Okay. Okay. Hölgyek, urak, aki itt van, az jelezzen vissza, hogy nem elaggol. Guys and girls in the stream, those who tuned in, please let us know if the video quality is good. No lag. You can hear both of us. And yeah. Let us know, please. But as far as I see, it's good. Okay. Hopefully lurkers will speak up. Okay.
Yeah, I also put the link in my social networks.
Oh yeah, make sure to do that. Yeah, and I will highlight it. Yeah, do that. I already did on my Discord. So it's just or you can send me on Discord and I can or do that and I can highlight too. There's an option for me to highlight on the chat if you just link it.
No, it's okay. It's fine. We maybe or do you want me to send you my Discord channel for the game or what? Or just
no.
me
If
myself?
you have a link tree or just the
yeah,
Steam
I have a
page.
link tree.
Yeah. Make sure to drop it in the chat. Yeah, and I can highlight
okay.
it so everyone will see during our stream.
Okay.
Yeah, there it's a cool function for Twitch that you can also like highlight a message and it will pop up like on the top of the chat. So yeah. Okay. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Thank
you. yeah, I put the link.
Oh, nice. Okay, let me.
Oh no, sorry. It's is this Linktree?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's
it
probably Telegram. No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
No, it's wrong link. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. Let me know if I can highlight it.
Yeah, Linktree is not really working for some reason. So here is just team page. I think it's better.
Okay. Okay, let me highlight it. There you go. Megvi, köszönöm szépen a raidet. Megvi, thanks for the raid. Thank you. So guys and girls, the quality is good. The voice is good. Köszönöm szépen a raidet. Thank you. Skywalker, thanks for the follow. Thank you as well. Köszönöm szépen a követésüket. Okay, guys and girls, if the stream quality is good, there is no lag, the voice is good for both of our sides, then let us know, please. Let us know, guys and girls, in the stream. Can we start? Are we good to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Skywalker, szia neked is. Okay, jó minden, ugye, hölgyek, urak? Okay. Are you good to start too?
Yeah, of
nice.
course. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Welcome everyone. This is the newest episode of Dev Life, and I'm joined by today's friends, today's guest, whom I very thankful and very honored that he is here with us today. And thank you, Alex, that you joined us for today's episode of my Dev Life show. And like I'm always saying, let's start with a little bit of introduction about yourself.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you very much for inviting me. Um, uh, well, I don't know, and hello to everyone who is watching this right now or will be later. So my name is Alex. I'm the main developer. I would say I'm the creator of Self Loss. It's our current project. It's an adventure game about the old man. You can check this link, and I think we'll talk about this more throughout this video. So, but overall, what should I say? I think I started in game dev in like about, it's almost like 8 years ago, 8, 9, something like this. And
Okay.
this is actually not my like first project, but I would say it my first like serious commercial project. And I'm not doing this alone. I'm like have a team of 3 in total, including me right now. So yeah, and the game is quite like has a quite long time in development, but it will be released very soon actually. But I can't give you like the specific release date.
Okay.
Yeah, but it will be like announced before end of this summer, and
Gamescom
the
hype,
release
I could
itself.
say.
Yeah. So, but the release itself will be also like very short
Are you
after.
planning to
So,
go to Gamescom as well, by the way?
so the game will be there. It's like I would say 80% or 90%. But me myself, no, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Some guys from publishing
Okay,
will be
I see.
there
I see.
for the game. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
So
So
that's it.
thank you for that. Nice. Okay, so let's start with an origin story. I always like origin stories of people to hear. Like, what's your origin story about? How did you get into gaming? What was your very first, or what is your very first memory with video games? Like, how did
Yeah.
they started for you?
So yeah, obviously, I think as mostly every game developer, I like to play video games very much.
Nice.
Starting like from as soon as I get my PC, like my first PC, it was I think it was like first grade, and I was like 7 or 8 years old, something like this.
Okay.
Back in 2000 or yeah, 2000. But I think even my the very first experience with gaming is probably Half-Life, the first game, and
Nice.
it was like in '99, like on my father's job. Like he worked at like legal company with lawyers and all that, and they had uh, like a lot of PCs, and usually I had like a free spot when someone went for dinner or for lunch, and I could play there. And I saw that some guys in the office had Half-Life, and they had Doom probably and Wolfenstein.
Nice.
And I tried those games, enjoyed them a lot, and I was scared of them also. It's funny, yeah. So, but in terms of like game development itself, actually, it came to me like I would say quite in the old age. I was 19 years old.
Okay.
I was finishing my like second year of bachelor's degree
Okay.
at university. So I was studying on like very common IT programming department, and I felt that although I didn't, I never had troubles with programming itself.
Okay.
I felt that that I don't want to work just as a common programmer. I'm not really interested in the programming itself. I found it's quite boring actually, and what I really enjoyed since childhood is actually something more creative, like drawing, making music. And throughout my life, I tried those like separate subjects. You could say like I played guitar sometime. Like it's different periods of childhood, right? When you want to be a guitar player and you want to like create some rock music. Yeah, rock star, right? Exactly. Then you want to be just like an artist in the sense of like
that's a nice
painter.
thing about childhood, right?
Yes. And yeah, it was like end of second year bachelor's degree, and I thought, damn, I need to like to make like to make a choice who I want to be and what I want to do for basically for a living, how I will make money. And I'm the kind of person.
Was it hard or was it scary first to touch those fields, touch those territories?
Yeah, I would say Yeah, and scary and hard because I also had like
Okay.
some troubles with parents who pushed me a bit. Like, come on, you're like 19 years, 20 years old. You need to go find the work and all that.
Okay.
And I felt like, geez, really, I'm not a child anymore. I need to do something with it. And yeah, but again, I always had this idea that I want to be creative, and I definitely don't want to go just to be hired at some office and do
By
programming
others,
stuff all
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to be like it's very like common, and I would say maybe for some people it will be even like I
Understandable.
know naive to
Naive,
think.
yeah.
No, I mean naive to think like I didn't want to be like a gear in a big mechanism.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I got you, yeah.
um, like when 200 people like working on project, I didn't want it. So yeah, and it came to my mind that well, I like drawing, I like making
I
music, I
see.
also know programming.
I see.
How can I combine all those things together? So and yeah, it just I don't know. I just Google download like a few game engines and started to experiment.
Nice,
And
nice.
it was about time when I think why it also like came to me. It's it's like it's not Mandela effect, but it's different psychological effect when you start to think about something and you start to notice it more often than before. And I think it was a time when game engines like Unity they become completely free, like the full version, because
Yeah.
before that Unity had like two separate branches. It had free for basically 2D games only, and the full version with 3D
Okay.
and post processors and all other things. And it also was a time when Unreal 4 was publicly available, but it had subscription. I remember it was like 15 or 20 bucks a month, and I couldn't afford it while I was like a
You also
student.
had like CryEngine, if I remember correctly, as a
Yeah,
free
yeah, yeah,
version,
yeah,
right?
CryEngine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I had a quick search and find out that CryEngine had, and it's still like I'm not sure if it even supported like nowadays, but even then it like Unity and Unreal had already back then like quite a lot of learning resources,
Oh, yeah.
and so it was an obvious choice. Although I remember it was called like SFML library for C++. It wasn't even like an engine. It was just a library for
I
3D
see.
graphics, and I tried it, and it was really hard in comparison, of course, to just to Unity and C Sharp. So yeah, and I remember I just started to like copying some online educational small
Okay.
games, like something really simple, like a spaceship flying from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen. And yeah, one step after another, like I kind of enjoyed it and enjoyed a lot actually with time.
Nice.
And this is how it all started
Okay.
for me. Yeah.
And okay, I have so many questions to you, by the way, so
Oh,
prepare
of
for
course.
those. Okay,
Yeah, of
so
course.
first of all, you mentioned like just step by step. I will ask you the
Yeah.
questions of mine. So the first step is like, did you wanted to secure your childhood with this side of you being creative? Because I feel like you did, but of course, I would like to ask you that. And of course, here comes the question with it. If you did it like, did you succeed by securing your childhood by being creative and making games?
Yeah, I think definitely, and I'm still like even like later on, like back in like uh, like 2 3 years ago, I just finished my stage when I was teaching a lot. I had
Okay.
students class, master students at
Okay.
university who I was teaching game design and Unreal, and I remember even to them, I always like I didn't like I didn't make propaganda out of it, but I always like hinted, "Hey guys, you better don't go search for work. Just try first. Try maybe make some of your projects. Maybe you
Okay.
can make a living, and you'll be like free." And again, I mean, I think the word freedom, even like freedom in work, feeling that your hobby is your work,
True. True.
that can make you marry. It's also something like from every child dreams of. I
True.
think,
True. True. True.
yeah,
True.
yeah.
Okay, I totally agree with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think, yeah, definitely. And it's still one of the most, I think, if we talking about motivation, I would say half of this motivation is definitely just because I remember how I just wanted to. I wouldn't say necessarily work for myself. It's but create something that will help like me in life and like continue doing this basically. Yeah.
So when you started your very first project and you started realizing that okay, now I can make a living out of it, were your parents became like more supportive, or they were still
No,
scared
of course not.
about it?
Yeah. No, of course not. No, they were scared and scared for quite a long time because as with many, and I want to say it like make an emphasis on this. It's not like every indie developer who starts their first game, they necessarily become like rich, or at least like they sell a game or they have enough sales to have enough money for a living. No, it took me like quite a few years actually to get to this point. And my first projects, they were like, I don't know, I was stupid, but back then I thought that mobile gaming is the key to success, you know. And it was like years 2015, and comparing like the mobile gaming market right now and in 2015, it was like billion times smaller. But even then, it was still billion times bigger than PC market or common console market in terms of like amounts of games and in terms of how marketing works for the gaming. And of course, I didn't know like a bit of that, like how to make money basically from like free to play mobile game, for example. But I had an idea, like if I make a good mobile game with like a high level of quality, and it will be free, and I will add no advertisements and all that's like screens, like like when you want to skip it or you want to watch another video, blah blah blah. So I thought that probably people just will donate me, or they will buy some like additional levels or something like this. So I wanted to be like the most purest good guy in terms of like mobile
But
mobile idea of making money.
that. I tell you that.
Yeah, of course. Yes, of course,
like,
of course.
It's a
But
nice
it's
thing, and I think that more people should be like you, in my opinion.
yeah. But I left this idea of mobile gaming at all so very long time ago anyway. So
I see.
So guys who are listening to this, don't try this. Just start to make PC games like in the first place, and that's it. So yeah, and I made something like a Space Invaders game. It was Space Invaders clone, but it has like it had a procedural generation of shapes, and it had I think it was nice pixel art graphics, and overall the game was nice for the first project. It was really nice. I'm proud of it. But I remember like it got like maybe 1050 like 500 downloads on Google Play.
Nice.
And that's it. Like it's very games, of course, mobile games, if it's not hyping and you don't put a lot of money in an advertisement or you making some strategic campaign, of course, what I didn't do. So there's no like trail, what we call, right? Is there no marketing trail? It just drops and that's it. You will never like resurrect the game, like in majority of cases. So yeah, and of course I spent like 6 months making this game. I don't even remember actually how it's called, and I just remember it definitely you can find it APK file in the internet on some websites, but Google Play removed it because I just didn't visit like Google Play administration panel, and there you need to always like update their like NDA and all that. So and of course my parents, they saw this, they saw that I basically didn't sleep because I really enjoyed this process of making the game. I was so hyped, I was so I would
Obsessed.
say obsessed. Yes, definitely this word is very good for description. And they, but very soon they understand that when they saw that the game didn't succeed it, and it definitely like 1000 downloads don't make money, at least on the mobile gaming. So they started to push me like it's stupid, it's games, it's I know it's probably not in every country, but I feel it's more prominent in like Eastern Europe countries. That older people they usually feel that games, I mean computer games or doesn't matter, mobile games, gaming digital gaming in general is similar just to toys in a sense. You know what I mean psychologically.
Yeah.
So if you are old guy who's making games, for them it's basically equal that you are stupid naive old guy who are playing toys.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
what I am trying
interesting
to say.
because, in my opinion, I feel like it's because two cases can occur those type of behaviors and thoughts of people, older people. First one is like they do not understand games. They do not understand, for example, story-oriented games. I always show people who do not like games a game called Final Fantasy X, which has a lot of story elements about all kinds of real issues that we have. For example, racism, love, war, everything. So it's like teachings to the people. And also I feel like people are like losing their childhood very easy. And I feel like for me childhood was very important to always keep, and that's what I loved about your game when first seeing it, that it has so much like life and love and the feeling of childhood, even if it's about, of course,
Yeah, got it.
a sad story, but still like I don't know, I'm a very intuitive person, and I feel the messages that are given from a developer throughout his game. And that's what I like about games, that there are always some hidden messages from the actual creators behind these games like yours. And I feel like if more people would understand the importance of childhood, and that we should keep childhood as our inner peace, throughout our journey of life, even being, I mean, at the age of 50 or even 100,
definitely.
then we would be more happy, because we forgot that we were creative as a child. We learned how to love as a child. We wanted to get more knowledge as a child, not just box ourselves and say that, okay, I'm the greatest. No, you're not. You are still developing your inner peace, your inner self. So I think if those two things would be understandable for these people, then they would definitely say more positive things to
Yeah.
especially like guys like you or me who are down into this rabbit hole being as a kid still. So yeah.
Well, we can give them like those people. I mean, those people were born when there were no such subject as basically like computer games
True.
in a sense
True,
for most
but
of them.
I
So
think that
yeah,
everyone misses his or her childhood, so they cannot
yeah,
agree on
that's
that.
for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. So yeah, and I remember like just to skip a few like moments. It's just I remember when the success I would say, but it's small success, but it came to me. Um, I very soon after the release of this mobile game, I started to making just try it like small PC game, and I applied for a few gaming events in Russia, and it was like a games jam or something, and it was like very long. It was across not even only Russia. I think it was across all like foreign, what you say, CIS countries, right? It's like Russia, Belarus, Ukraine too, and it was like online games jam, like Ludum Dare, but for CIS countries, basically. And among all games who participated there, it was like about 2,000 projects applied for this games jam, and it lasted like for 2 or 3 months. And this my project like won the first place basically.
Okay.
And it was and I was invited to the gaming conferences. I was provided with a free ticket,
Nice.
and that was the moment like when I remember I was going up the stage. It was like all official, like on E3, but of course much more cheaper.
You became a
Or,
rock star, we could say.
yeah, definitely, yeah. So and yeah, it was all announced that Alex and his project. It's called Algotica. But you can find it on Steam, but please don't download it.
I
It's
checked
very
them out.
buggy.
I will have questions
Yeah.
about those games.
Okay.
prepared myself.
So yeah, and I think the price for the first place, it was like back then it was almost like 1,000 and a half. It's well, it was $1.5 grand for the first place, and of course you can just imagine. For me as a student, I like before I made a game, mobile game, which gained me like a zero, and now I just spent like a few months on a basically it's just not a finished game, it's just a small demo prototype, and already I have like 1,000 and a half dollars. So yeah, and I remember my first thoughts like I will spend them all on new PC because I had a crappy PC back then, and I will be playing Witcher 3 finally because I couldn't do that. So yeah, and basically that was what I did. I just spent all money on new PC and I was so happy. And I think back was the pivotal moment I would say in my life when I understood that I can make money with games. Although I didn't sell it yet, it was just a prize on a competition, right? So, but it gave me a lot of confidence in myself, and I think to my parents too. And that was the moment when it all started to be better and better each month, and so on. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
as we mentioned your games and you wanted not me to not try it out your first big
Yeah.
Steam game. So I checked your games and okay, I have some personal questions if you don't mind, of
Of
course.
course. Yeah. Yeah. Of
Okay, so I
course.
played like all of the demos of your games and also the two
Mm-hmm.
games that's like they are full there on
Mm-hmm.
Steam. So I feel like it's very interesting that your games have like some things in common. First thing is that they are educational, like I said. Also is
Mm-hmm.
like they are about your childhood. I feel like we will discuss that later a bit, and I
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
also feel like it's very interesting to see in your second and third game, of course, Self Loss, which will
Mm-hmm.
be out,
Mm-hmm.
that you have a protagonist, a small robot in your second
Mm-hmm.
game, and
Mm-hmm.
the old man in the third game. That they are lonely, but they are still like trying to find their inner peace and like also give love to the people. So I felt
Mm-hmm.
like these characters, I like your future self and also like somebody that is close to you. Is that right? Is that my
Um,
feelings are right or not? I would ask that.
I would say, uh, you let's take it like bit by bit. About childhood, I think yes, definitely. I played a lot of
Okay.
games in my childhood. Like my parents even like hide like hid from me like cables from PC so that while they're on work, I can't like play computer, you know.
Okay.
And I think like the gaming in general like had such a big impact on my childhood. So eventually, even though I'm not noticing it myself while I'm developing the game, I like those feelings, those memories somehow like they flow
Yeah, they are
inside
there.
like
Yeah.
games. Yeah, yeah, in the game. So, but it's not something. If we speak about child, it's not something that I'm like specifically
You're
designing or
writing it
think.
down.
Yeah,
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 I
yeah,
got
yeah,
you. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And like speaking of loneliness, I would say, and specifically with the second project mechanism, and right now with self-loss, yes, they're definitely more somber and more sad in comparison to the first project. I would say I'm just, although I'm kind of extrovert at times. Sometimes I'm introvert. Like my mood is like this. But overall, I would say throughout my life, I always, I would say, enjoy like calm moods and maybe even like sad moods. When it's not just sad, it's not depressing, but it's like sad for nostalgia. It's a special kind of
Okay.
feeling, and it's warming. I know that some people don't like it, but I don't know. It
No, I
just
got your
probably
point. I got your point.
yeah. I just have this kind of personality, and but
Okay.
again, it's not something I would specifically like. I never thought that I would. Okay, I'm making next game. I
No,
want
I
to
got
be
you. I got
the
you.
protagonist to be sad
No, I
or
totally
something like
got you.
this. Yeah,
It's just
something I'm comfortable with. I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah,
it's.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I feel like
Uh,
even if people like you who are creators these games, they're giving out their messages like not in a like strict intentional level, like
yeah.
you're writing it down, but still
Mm.
it's a message. Like
Yes, yes, definitely. And in terms of messaging, overall for the game, it's messaging is very important for game design. It gives you a very good hint throughout the whole development process when you want to make a decision. And if you like read at least one game design book, I mean educational materials, it will be always there. Like you have some
true,
topic
true,
or
true.
theme or subject you want to describe or transfer to player's mind. That's what you should
Yeah, of course, but
like.
I mean, if games are being made with a small team, and even if bigger teams making these games, I feel like it's
Mhm.
always like the creator who is the mastermind behind these games and who has
Of course, of course.
his like own life in the game. Like you
Yeah.
also mentioned, your life put and your memories put into the game. So that was the question.
Mm-hmm.
Or that was the idea behind my question, that I felt like you're trying to like relive your childhood, and you also like in this beautiful mood of pain by reliving, like you said,
Yeah,
nostalgic
yeah.
like moments from your life. Is that true?
Mm. So, uh, partially, I would say, I would say uh, the games, at least mechanism, yeah, it's for sure. The game had a lot of myself.
Okay.
And actually, that's one of the reasons why I blame myself that the game was not successful enough. If we if we forget about bugs and technical issues on the release,
Okay.
uh, which I'm very ashamed of. It's not like not a not a joke for me, or I'm not trying to be ironic. It's for real. I was not too experienced. Um, but I think even with self loss right now, I actually trying to constantly be aware of what I'm putting in the game, and sometimes I would say I even trying to restrict myself to not put too much of myself. And there's like you could say like there are like several game design schools in terms of like how to deliver certain experience to the player. And I think I tend to be like specifically with the age. I I don't think that putting full 100% yourself in terms of like your emotions and your experience in your personal life into the game and putting this into the message is a proper way to do this. I
But why?
actually,
But why?
like based on my observations, it just make games too difficult or too complex to comprehend, or sometimes
Yeah,
even
but we
to
are humans also
to
complex, so
yeah. But I think you need to like you can't just make games and be 200% artist in a sense. I feel like because you just you need to have this some time of consciousness about I need this. I need people to understand the idea inside the game. Because if they don't understand and they will just feel like some gibberish of emotions, it won't give them satisfaction and they probably won't
I
finish it.
got you what
And
you're
there are like
saying. Yeah.
a lot of topics. And I'm certain like you had experiences with such games when you play them and you feel, wow, they're so unique. They like nothing I ever
Yeah, but I
felt.
feel like
But at the same time,
I
you
got
can't
you.
finish them, and you feel like a lot of rough edges and all that. I usually think it's because developers behind it poured too much soul in them. I
Yeah,
would say
yeah, but
this.
so I totally got your point, but I still feel like how to explain. So I would say it's pretty similar as an example to say it from my life. Like I was in school and we were discussing with my schoolmates there that
Mm,
how can a student understand the idea or the motive behind a poem or a novel that
yeah, yeah,
is, for
yeah.
example, about love. And I was always defending my statement with this, that I feel like we as people really could relate, and if we are relating to a topic, we could feel with our heart. I know it's sounding very naive-ish and very
Mhm.
like out of our words, or
Mm.
because our word of, for example, like is based on very strict rules and everything. But I feel like those people who can relate to a topic, for example, losing somebody, they will understand the
Mm.
creator's thinking. And I feel like games like yours, and I also like played a bunch of games
Mm.
like those who might not be intentional about their messages,
Mm.
but they still being created. Because like if you create something, you cannot say, okay, I won't put myself into this.
Yeah, yeah,
You mean what,
definitely.
you understand what I'm saying. So even if you're
Yeah, yeah.
strict about yourself putting your thoughts into the game, you will do that because you are comfortable with
Mm.
it. So and I
Mm.
feel like, so I didn't want it to be like very like impolite with this question. It's just I wanted
No, no, of course.
to
No.
pay my gratitude for you with these games of
Okay.
yours,
Thank. Oh,
because
of
I
course.
could totally relate to your
Mhm.
games and
Mhm.
your messages with
I
that. So
I can.
that's what I wanted to say and ask you,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm interested. So I know it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like it's not a common thing to ask, because it's, so my show is more about like seeing the person behind the games
Oh, of
that are
course.
made.
That's
And
great.
it's not just,
Mhm.
some IT bullshit that, okay, what is the game about,
Mm.
what
Mm.
you want
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I mean, I can totally understand those people who are doing
Mm.
questions like this, but
Yeah.
for me it's more important to understand the person behind the game. And I
Yeah.
was,
It's for me. It's more interesting to answer those
yeah, and
questions.
I'm very happy that you are not
Mm.
not like
Yeah.
sad
Yeah.
about like asking or answering this
Yeah.
question. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was totally hyped about your game, like I said, because when I first like saw the very first trailer about self loss, I understood that, okay, this game is for me. Just
Mm.
to, for say an example about my life, like I lost my grandfather when I was 12, and I
Mm.
felt some pain and some missing my childhood as well when I saw your game. So when I was, okay, when I saw that, okay, I knew that, okay, I need to talk with you. So yeah, that's why
Yeah.
we are here.
I.
So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Otto. Yeah. I want to just to elaborate on this. Just to be clear with my point. It's not that I'm saying that you don't need to
Yeah,
pour your
I totally
feelings as a
got you. I
developer.
totally got you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think my idea is you need to like to deliver a great experience,
Yeah.
and let's have like a side talk about the poems. I'm totally agree, and that's the
Yeah.
same with like stories,
Yeah,
novels,
true, true.
movies.
There
But
is
the
always
truth is
like
here,
a bunch of
yeah,
people who will understand because they can relate. They can totally
yeah,
see the other
yeah,
person through that,
mm.
artistic form or form of art.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think, but there, like for example, this poem, it's much easier to comprehend and to grasp these
True,
feelings
true, true,
because it's
true.
just in easier, convenient format
True,
to
true,
digest.
true.
You
Yeah,
just read it, you spend small time.
yeah,
Games, specifically, especially now, it's so like there's so many games. You need
true,
to compete
true,
with
true,
everyone,
true.
and if you could like rephrase it, you basically you compete with your ideas and your feelings
Yeah,
with
true, true, true,
billions
true.
of other feelings.
Yeah, yeah,
But I want to say like if you're like doing it's hard it's hard to maybe to deliver this idea, but I want to say if you're making the game with love and passion, as I do myself, of course, those feelings they will eventually come and
true,
pour
true. I
into
understand.
this.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. You don't necessarily need to make a message.
yeah,
The message itself can be quite different. My like for example, my aim here as a developer, as a creator, I made a topic, I made a subject for the game, and I just want to be it clear and like satisfying to comprehend and to have a closure at the end of
yeah,
the game. It it not necessarily should like click together, like my feelings and my story. Basically, what I
yeah.
should say,
I
story should be always interesting, no matter what. It's like there are like basic rules for the stories, right? But your emotions and all ideas of yourself, they will be there eventually if you're doing it with
true,
love.
true.
But just to again to talk about like what you said, you are not the first person who like who saw the game. And I received quite a bunch of messages from people all over the internet
See, a
about
lot
how
of
they
people
lost.
understanding it.
Yes, how they lost someone,
Yeah,
and that they feel they feel something in the game, and they I had a lot of like very warming and heartful messages, and I'm usually hiding this, at least like in other text interviews specifically, and don't like to talk about this. But throughout the development, I'm making this game like for 5 years, and but full time like maybe for last 3 years with me and two other people, my colleagues. So, but I also had such like like horrible events in my family, and by the way, I also lost a grandfather. It was like maybe
I'm
like
sorry to
two
hear
years
that.
ago. Yeah, thank you. And but even then, I felt it. I don't I don't want to push it further into the game. I don't want to.
I see.
People will feel anyway.
Yeah, true.
Although
True.
those events happened, and
True.
I can definitely like say I would say how would say I definitely could be a lawyer of my game in terms of these
True.
dark subjects,
True. True.
and I could relate myself. But I try to be not to put it in your face when you
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah, I got you.
That's my perfect like this is my goal. I don't want
I
to be
see.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we, I feel like specifically movies right now, the reason why they feel today what some people say woke, right? That's like a very, I would say, fancy topic right now to discuss in the internet. It's the same problem. It's not about wokeness. It's about like something creative, and the people behind it put something in your face,
Yeah, true.
in
True.
front of your creativity, in front of the story and all that. That's when people feel like, oh, it's not that interesting
I
because
understand. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, it's there is a beauty in making it a bit shady, and
Yeah,
you
definitely.
you have to understand it. Yeah, and I'm very grateful that you told this
Mm,
story about
thank you.
yourself. Yeah. Okay, so and do you think like those people who get these messages by playing a demo or playing your games, they can of course they can relate, but they can or will be understanding themselves better, and like being able to handle their real life problems with a helping hand of yours, we could say.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually the goal of the game itself. It's but here I'm even a bit worried because the ending of the game itself, I think it was a revelation for me when I make it up, but not make it up, make it was like wrong phrase. It's when I came with it, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I think for some people, specifically who suffered like real losses in life, um, they might be. It will give them some thoughts, but I feel like some of them might be upset maybe with the ending. But I don't know. I wanted it to story to be finished the way it will be. So
I see. Okay.
yeah,
We will see soon, right?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah, really
okay. I
soon.
cannot
Yeah,
wait. Okay, so and your very first PC game, let's get back to that as
yeah.
well. So it was like it was also an educational game, right? So
Yeah.
and why did you
It was
said it?
when you're saying educational, I would say like it was a really educational in terms of like
Yeah,
studying. It
yeah, yeah.
was
I know,
about
I know, I know,
programming.
I know. No,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask that why did you said that we should not download it? So I know it was a joke, but
Yeah, no. It wasn't a joke.
oh,
I was. It's pretty buggy, and
okay.
mechanism second game also pretty buggy. Just if you can just like I don't know, download a torrent if you want or something. I'm okay with that. And
You're speaking
I'm not.
against yourself right now.
Yeah. I'm not really proud of them in terms of like technical delivery. And specifically, I remember I think first game took me about year and a half to finish, and last months in development, I was just so tired. It was also like my final year of graduating, and
Okay.
I almost had no sleep and all that, and I felt really bad, and I just wanted like, God damn it, I'll just like press a button on Steam, release it, and I don't care. I just don't have enough power to finish it properly. And it was like in a horrible state, and I actually did like a full remaster of it, changing a bunch of levels.
Nice.
And the games which you can find on Steam right now, believe me, even though it's buggy, it's like 3 times less buggy than the initial release was. But it's still, yeah, it had like a lot of removed levels which I didn't have time to like remake and all that. So that's why. But I would say it might be interesting just to look at the first project of a person who didn't have enough sleep. No,
I see.
something
Okay.
like this.
Can you be very
Yeah.
harsh about yourself if it comes to judge your quality of your games, the quality of your games?
Yeah, I think it's not about being really harsh. You need to be objective to yourself.
Okay.
You need to be, and this is really hard because people tend to either be really harsh about themselves or be like
Sadly.
very fond of themselves and enjoying them too much. And this is like the quality for like I think every artist like feel from time to time when he feel like he's the genius, or sometimes he feels like he's the most stupid person in life and in the world. So, but that's the pure science, like
True.
to like to gain this ability to evaluate yourself objectively, and this comes only with experience and with the time you spend doing your job, no matter what kind of job it is. So.
True. Was it hard to learn to balance your feelings about negative and positive opinions?
Yeah, of course. I remember when I saw like basically sometimes I had this almost like a reflex some psychological almost like a like Pavlov dogs. I might saw a negative review, and then I just suddenly close the browser and like walking outside trying like to forget that Steam exists and reviews exist. I just didn't want to have like to see this. Yeah,
I see.
I felt really like harmed in a way, although most of those reviews were
but because, since those games are like your kids, so you want to defend them, and you
yeah, it's a very great comparison. I feel that many developers feel the same way. Yeah, definitely, it's your kid, it's your child, you're creating this. But the most horrible thing that you create while you create this child and you play with it, right, during this development, you like feel okay, but this idea behind your mind, like getting closer, that you need to like basically everyone can now like I don't want to say harsh words, but to evaluate your child, okay. But usually I try to make another comparison. It's like you have a wife or a girlfriend, and then you need to split up if you want the game to be released, basically. And now everyone can have a sex with her and leave a review about it.
True.
So
You
yeah.
are
So
watching
I
it
feel
and-
it's yeah. And you need to read all those reviews and
yeah. True. Yeah. Okay. And so when like designing your first game that was of course educational, like were you like knowing that okay, now after that you will go deeper and try to offer a rich story to another, of course, educational game, but not in a way that it has been?
Yeah, 100%.
So you already had the idea for the story for your next game?
Not the story, but I think the overall mood and the style. I need to point this out that it's educational. One of the reasons I would say it wasn't like 100% my creative decision, because I was studying, and you need to to show a thesis work, right, in the end of your education, in the end of fourth year at bachelor degree. And since I didn't want to like make some stupid programs or websites or anything else or some research, I asked my professors, like, can I just make a game and like protect it on the final defense? And they said, no, you're stupid. And then they thought, and well, maybe if it was educational game with like about learning learning programming, like for children, for kids, or for anyone. Uh, so then, yeah, we can make a paper for that. That it's like educational game, and we like researching educational techniques, gamification, all that. And yeah, so that was one of the reasons why it's actually was educational. It wasn't like my passion, I would say, to do educational games.
Yeah, but you
And while I was
still
developing,
like
yeah,
made educational games on the
yeah,
go with other games of yours. Yeah,
yeah, but they were educational in a
in a
different
different way.
stance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But they're
yeah,
still educational, I would say. Yeah.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
think like
yeah.
these games could be taught in schools and at universities as well for people to understand themselves more? Because I believe in that. I'm just asking your opinion about it.
Yeah, I never thought about this. I actually think like in a perfect world, like somewhere in maybe next
100
20
years?
years, we just need to have like specific like overall like game subject
True,
when
true,
people like we have literature, right?
true,
And we have colleges about movie making.
true.
Why don't we have
Games.
colleges? Okay, now we have, as I know, Sweden actually has a lot of colleges about game making, right? And in Russia also there are like quite a few universities who are doing this, like an official master's degree and all that. But we don't have like colleges about like researching games, right?
True.
Like like understanding what ideas were behind them. And we already have like quite a long history of game industry overall, and we already have like some very historic titles, I would say, like Half-Life, Mario, and all billions of other games. So we could might as well just teach those games in schools and all that, I would say. Yeah, overall, I don't want to point self-loss like
I
in
would
front
do
of
that
this,
for
like
you. I would do that for you,
yeah.
totally.
Okay, thank you, thank
If I would have the money and the power, I would do that for you for sure.
you.
I can
Yeah,
tell you that. Yeah, because I feel like kids are more understanding to these topics than we would think, because
yeah, of
they are
course.
more open-minded about those topics, and even if
Mm-hmm.
they cannot relate in 100% if they, for example, would not have any loss in their life as a kid, but they still can relate to all these worse and happier thoughts and feelings, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
also, like, I feel like kids can pick up interest by playing a game much easier than from reading, a book, in my
yeah,
opinion, especially
definitely. Yeah,
nowadays
of
where
course. Yeah,
internet is
yeah.
around and
Mm-hmm.
mobile phones.
Definitely,
So
100%.
yeah. Okay, so and okay, we talked about a lot of topics actually. So and compared to all of your games that you have been making, which one is your favorite
Oh,
and
of course,
why?
self-loss.
Selfless?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think it's, I can answer like a basic, give you like a basic answer, and the basic answer is just, I have now much more experience,
Okay.
much more understanding what I'm doing, even like more money to make this game. I finally have like a real budget for it, while previously I had still, I needed to go for work, for teaching kids and all that, and doing freelance jobs. So to have money to make the games, right now I have money to finish self-loss, and I don't need to go anywhere. So definitely, in the sense of production, that's the most advanced game from me. And personally, I would say. Uh, I have, since I have so much experience in comparison to myself earlier days now, I feel like here in this project I can definitely deliver the experience I initially like had in my mind. So
Okay.
it's not something like I'm making cuts as with previous projects, like I'm tired, I can finish this, I can do this. No, I know what I want to deliver, the ideas, and they are there. So I think that's definitely, I'm really proud. And based on, I would say, based on people's players' feedback from the demo, I'm really happy to read a lot of like positive messages, like from yourself,
Yeah.
well, from you, like from you, and so I'm like, in terms of like what the game is, I have no complaints to myself, I would say. So I'm done my job. Good. it's time for
We
publisher and
appreciate it, man.
marketing team to deliver it to the people. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask you also.
Mm.
That of course, when somebody is a creator mind like you, also has to be on the marketing side. So was it hard to learn that?
Yeah, definitely. Again, it's marketing for the for indie games. It's also the topic I also like. Lived through quite a evolution. So yeah, with self loss, it was specific like strategic decision to find a publisher for the game, and Merge Games is a publisher for self loss. While previous games I just published myself. And although I had options to also release those games on consoles, I had some like
Which I
suggestions
am
from
very happy
friends.
for, and physically as well as the disc version. I will be talking about that soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Self-loss will be available everywhere and
Yeah,
physically
I'm happy
too.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think right now with self-loss, I wanted just to do the production and all that, but
Okay.
marketing, I already felt like I don't have enough like just strength and power left to do marketing for self-loss myself, and that was the reason why I found publishers to
I
do
see.
that. But these previous projects, I don't know, I was much more younger, much more rock starish, and yeah, so that I just
I mean,
I don't know,
Rockstars have publishers as well, so.
yeah, definitely, yeah. So I would suggest, I don't know, do marketing if you feel that your game is already somewhat goes viral, and better go find a publisher if you feel that your game a little bit booksating in the same spot and people don't see it, even though it might be a great game.
Okay.
That's what I decided for myself. Next, I would say that my next projects, we already have like some ideas inside the team about next game. We will try to do something that we will probably can market ourselves without a
Okay.
publisher. But we'll see. At least we'll try, but who knows?
I see.
Yeah.
Was it hard to find a proper publisher, by the way, for making you having your freedom? Oh, the screen froze. Oh. Did the screen froze? Or my internet went away? Something happened? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I think it's internet on my side.
Oh, no, it's
Yeah.
okay, it's okay. I was scared that it's
Yeah.
my internet, sorry.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay.
Nice. Okay, so where were we?
So I just want to say that with our next project, we probably will do first marketing ourselves just to try to see if the games can go viral
Okay.
in the first place, and then based on that, we'll decide we'll do it ourselves, we'll learn marketing a bit, or we just again find a publisher for it with our next project.
So was it hard to find a proper publisher so you could keep
Yeah.
your freedom?
It's not. I would say it's not. No. It's a question of freedom. If you have like a game in a very early stage of development, it's very important to understand.
Okay.
So if you just started and you have just a small prototype, very small build,
So
and you probably need.
You were saying you were finding a publisher at the end of your process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And I signed with Merge like in the end of previous year, and I had a lot of the game contents ready.
Oh, okay.
And the game was already completed like 80%. And we Merge is definitely not the first publisher I talked to. I had quite a lot of discussions with different publishers, and even like the big ones like Annapurna and Raw Fury and all them. But eventually, in the end, I found myself most comfortable with Merge. They were very easy in contact, very I felt like very simple people in terms of like how they understand game development without I don't know, without red flags, I would say. Just so yeah, and I had so many red flags with different discussions with different publishers, so I felt it as a relief. Like finally, I found like proper guys who are on the same wave as I am.
Same side, yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you think makes some publishers like so money hungry? Like why are some publishers out there who are not willing to understand like the creation process and creative process behind making those games? And
Well, the primary reason, yeah, I got your questions. So it's a question that a lot of students asking me, and some of my colleagues who are also starting their game development path. I would say it's well, 99% of publishers are money hungry. It's because for them it's a business, and that's the point of the business. It's just making money. And what you need to understand, like for example, if you're that's what I understand for myself, and I'm still not sure in what position I am, because you understand right now in a moment. If your game is objectively good, you need to hear it out. Objectively good. It's like at least 7 out of 10, let's say. What I feel about self-loss, like it's a bare minimum of your game. Then you are in a pretty much safe spot with most of the publishers. But if your game is lower than that, you still can easily find any publisher, even like the big one. But you need to understand that their business model usually is, we need to sign in this year 10 games. We'll like say that they all get rich after the release, but they know that only one game among those 10 will be actually successful, and they will pour all the marketing money in this project. And all other release projects, if they are not successful, they will just forget about it. You can like make a scandal with them. It doesn't matter. You lost in the sense of business strategy for them. And that's what I see with many developers who are like, maybe they had their first project, they're really happy with it, they signed with publisher, and the publisher just like usually do some tests, they have you have a release and it's not really successful. It might be like somewhat okay for you as developer, but publisher sees that there is not enough potential, and right now the marketing is so fast. If your game doesn't show any life signs in terms of like successful commercially, like in the first day or two or prior to that, that's probably the time they will look at it, the publisher, and make decision based on that. Like they see that nobody wants your game, although the game might be great, we don't discuss that. They will just say, okay, man, your game sucks, sorry, but you will still need to pay us like 30 or 50% of your revenue. Okay, bye bye. That's usually what happens. And I think the solution to this, actually, again, in the perfect world, in an ideal world, it's actually the idea my father came up with. We were discussing it one day, this whole sad situation on the gaming market with publishers and all that. In the perfect world, I would say each government of like each country should basically make like funds for game developers, so they can deliver game anyway and have some money also like as a bonus for releasing the game to stimulate the releases. But the amount of like how many people bought your game or how many people downloaded your game, if it's free and all that, it doesn't really matter. I mean, just imagine like there's like each country has like this amount of money for all game developers of their country. It's for pure creativity and stimulate younger developers to create games, and we'll still get. I can like assure you, we'll get more hits and more genius projects with this strategy. And just let's remove publishers at all. It doesn't really matter because those developers already have money to live and create. I think that's the perfect world.
Yeah.
And this is the real artistic way, because right now in this situation you don't really need to think about what genre is more popular now, like what genre will go hype on TikTok and all that.
Just go yourself and you're
and you won't
be scared. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
that's the case that a lot of developers are scared probably to even release their game, and they will hide
yeah.
in the sheds, forever or for a lot of years.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
for
Sadly,
sure, for sure.
sadly. Do you think that this idea of yours and fathers could ever happen? That people will be able to create their own
Um,
projects without, having this fear?
I think if this happens someday, I think that would mean that probably a lot of people in the world already like receiving what you say is well, minimum salary from the government. I just forgot how it says, without going to work. Basically, this I think I know that some countries have this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, but I don't know. We need to destroy Microsoft and PlayStation and all those first parties in the first place, because they take 30% from these stores. So it's
They
I don't
need
know.
new
It's a
cars
weird
every
situation.
month, right?
Yeah. It's such a complex
True.
goal to achieve. So it will just take all other industries with itself.
True,
Yeah,
true. And it's
yeah.
interesting to see that even the big companies who used to deliver us like bigger games and nice games, even they are
Hmm.
thriving with this problem. And I feel like it's more about, like you said, that the fear behind the money situation. And also I feel like you said, it's very true that I believe in the same, that every one of us like have talent, so and we
Hmm.
should use that. And I think that so
Hmm.
many of us just stuck in a place after, like, I don't know, hitting our 30s or 40s, when we won't
Mm,
be
yeah,
able to like
true.
say, okay, let's get back to my talent and explore that and
Mm,
develop myself to a
mm,
better person,
mm.
to be able to use my talent to create something. And that sucks. Like, come on, man, we are all talented in something. Like, some of us used to play the piano, some of us, like you said, wanted to be a rock star. You should do that. Nobody should
Mhm.
tell you you should not
100%
be
agree.
doing that. And I feel like that's, like you said, the ideal word would be that's like in the Bible we say that before everything happened, that we were divided on every topic, like we were like, happy and,
Mm,
just with
mm,
us, with
mhm.
our inner self. And I feel like people are scared to develop this inner peace and inner self out from themselves. Like, they are just more, like I said before, they are more into like being in this small box that they created by growing up,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's very interesting to see that. Do you think that people can change on that topic in their life, even without having an
Ugh,
ideal word, that they will like ends up in a situation where they will realize, okay, my life is like has no goal, why not to explore myself finally
I
and be
believe, okay, I believe that everyone can do this, but
okay.
it with some like ifs. It really it's much harder if you are not living in like it's much harder to do in Russia than in Sweden, for example. It's
Okay.
much harder to do living in Kazakhstan, where I am right now, than again in Norway or in Great Britain. Just basically because Great Britain has great like governmental funds for gaming already, and of course Kazakhstan like doesn't have it.
Yeah,
Like
but
so,
still, interrupting you in a bit, like in Africa, there was like a statement
yeah,
that in
and there is
Africa,
much.
the people are the happiest ones, because they have like
Yeah,
for
yeah,
us,
yeah.
seeing them, they have nothing, but still they live in a so free world. They do not. So I think that there is a sentence in Hungarian language that boldogok a lelki szegények. It means that those people are very happy, who are like very not stupid, but like very poor on
Yeah, I
their
got it.
on their mental state. So it means like, if you do not have the knowledge about everything that is around you, then you will be
Yeah,
happy. And it's a poor
yeah.
mental
It's
state, of course, because you are boxed, but still in a box which is a shield, like your childhood shield. I would say, you know, that you're
Mm-hmm.
still creative in that box, but it's like not boxing you. So it's very interesting because it's like very like against each other, but still like a common thing to say that these are different boxes in a way, but still like one
Yeah,
box, you know, not hiding
yeah,
the
of course.
knowledge and still having the knowledge of something. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I don't remember who this phrase belongs to, but it's the same. But it's the same that you said, but it's maybe a little bit easier. It's like the more you know, the more you said. It's from one of the like novelist. I don't remember his name. It's but what you're describing, yeah, it's also correct. It's hard to not to agree with it. I would say just different classes of people have definitely different challenges and in different parts of the world, and yeah, it's they're not equal in a sense of like achieving, I don't know, ultimate creativity goal, because they need to face some different troubles, like
true,
for food, for learning, for health, and all that. So, but I would say it's 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 hard for everyone in its own way, and
true,
this hardness curve is also different for everyone. So yeah, but creativity, I would say it even though the hardness, like it may be hard, but the creativity and the desire to be creative and to create something, like whatever it can be, it might be poems too, right?
true, true.
Not games, not something that requires so much devices and all that. It's at least half of this is its personal um, idea that you want really to become that creative
True,
person.
true.
So it's really also important to have it in yourself, to have this will, because I know it's, you know, it's like a joke. It's some people like always say like, I want to travel, and they don't do anything about it, like to start traveling or
Yeah,
to do some additional job, to have additional like spare money to have a small trip somewhere, right? So it's the same here. Like I knew so many people throughout my life who talked with me and then said, Alex, then I want to make games too. I'm so much into gaming and all that, and
they
I
never
knew
made.
I yes, and I met them year after year, and they're always the same. Like, I want to make games yours. Like, it's so cool. How do you make this? And I just always said, damn, just download
Start it.
Unity and go learning right now. You can do it right today. It's free, right? So, yeah, that's definitely also this.
You think that these people are scared of themselves?
Probably it's you mentioned the box. Yeah, it's. I think it's there's even a. I don't know how this term is in English. Proper spelling. It's like this. You are in your domain of convenience, and each person is this domain convenience, and you need to have enough will and strength, psychological strength, to go exit this domain, this your bubble, convenience bubble.
Yeah,
And yeah, for some people they don't understand this. For example, maybe you have a hard work. I don't know. You are a miner, or you have like a truck or something, or you are like have very strange working schedule, like very hard, like when you don't sleep for a few days. But it's also for those people very often it's also their convenience bubble,
true, true,
and they so used to them,
true,
and
true,
they scared to even improve their lives in
true,
a
true.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely
But
a
it's
common problem
interesting
for many
because
people.
like as a kid we always have that. And how do we lose that? So what do you think, why or why we lose that? And why some of us are not losing it, or at least trying not to lose it?
I don't know. I don't want to feel and to sound like I'm like a lunatic, but I don't know. It's like a common sense among humanity about responsibility and all that. This
Okay.
stereotypes. It's like when you're growing up,
I got you. I
everyone
understand you.
start to telling about this, about responsibility, about money, about your life.
Yeah.
For some, like about family, like even like you need to find a girlfriend, boyfriend to have a child, blah blah blah, and that this is definitely walls. For example, if you don't want some of this, right? But it's like it started to feel like it's some
It's a
real
must
common
thing.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah, yeah. it's common sense for everyone to have this kind or this kind of life and all that. So that's why what
Yeah,
and
but
people again it's
that's how we grow up, and that's how we learn not to question things and being uncreative, if that's the right word to say. And I always say this, that when we are kids, we are dreaming of space or being in space and traveling to space.
yeah.
And after when we hit like 18 or 19 or 20, we forgot that, or at least we are not focusing on that. Like you said, we are focusing on money, getting a job, go to university, get a girlfriend or a
Mm,
boyfriend, and get to somewhere that's important for us. And it's weird that
yeah.
not all of us lose those things from our childhood, but most of us do. But I feel like
Yeah.
that's why people are becoming more empty in a way. It's
Mm,
interesting because when I used to attend to like voice acting school, there was a woman who everyone. So the teacher asked every one of us like why we are attending to this school and to this lecture of voice acting, and this woman was at the age of like 40. She was a very nice, very beautiful woman, and she had like a job. She was the boss of this like
mm,
I don't know, money oriented companies. So they were
mm,
like giving away ads and all this stuff. And she was very like successful as well. And
mhm.
sorry for it. It was oh, my
No
bad.
problem.
So yeah. And it was very interesting to hear her saying that she was very successful in every part of her life. And when she got to the point where she became like the age of 40, she felt empty. She had
Hmm.
everything and she felt empty. And she was saying that, okay, I got to this school and to this lecture because I wanted to feel creative again as a kid. And I
Mm,
was almost crying to hear that, because for me,
mhm.
like hearing this, and I know it's important for myself as well, it was like, you know, relief to hear those stories, because I feel like every one of us, even those who left behind this uh, method of thinking, they still have this in their very deep of their brain and mind and heart as well, especially in their heart, because of course they
Mhm.
want to love, they want to question what happened with them, their life before, and
Mhm.
everything else, like we used to those things as a kid. So it's very interesting to experience those things in throughout life, that every one of
Mhm.
us has that. It's just like you said, some people are scared to like develop these skills. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think like by watching movies, reading books, and playing these games like yours, people can really develop these skills, or they are willing to develop if they can relate to those topics?
Well, I don't know. We'll see, but at least, well, maybe some of them who will watch this video and our
Okay.
interview will
True,
start to think
true,
about it.
true,
Yeah, 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 yeah. But
true,
again, in the end, it's everyone's own decision.
true.
We don't know what circumstances and people
Okay,
live in which conditions. So I don't know.
true.
But I'm definitely sure, and I think there's it's I think it's really obvious that's like when we're talking about creativity and childhood and games. Well, because in during our child years we play a lot. I mean, not just games, but play with everything, right? Toys with ourselves. I mean, with everything. And I think there is somewhere a very deep and very core brain connection with it, with playing.
True,
So that's why it's gaming in general is very important also to have this passion and not to be ashamed of it in any age.
true, true. Yeah, yeah, because like I remember like 10 years ago, people were outcasts because of they played games, and
Yeah,
nowadays it's a
yeah, yeah.
common thing, like it's a trend now. So
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm,
true.
definitely. I remember it was in like you might see some TV show or a movie, and there might be like this guy, some weird character who plays games, and like everyone makes fun of him, something like this, like he is some weirdo or
Yeah, weird.
let's the word geek itself
Yeah,
was kind of used during those times as a like bad word in a sense, like a funny word, like
yeah, But now
So
it's finally became a trend.
yeah.
But I feel like
Yeah.
it's very interesting to see this, that a lot of us are playing now, and so many people are playing now at the different ages and cultures.
Hmm.
And it's, as me, I see it not just a good thing, but also a bad thing, because I think that a lot of people are playing games not because of their passion, but because it became a trend. And I feel like that's why, like, people, since it's not their real passion, it's just a hobby, you know, like I would say they are playing games 1 day or 1 hour per month, and
Mm.
they cannot relate to games that much. And I met so many people like this, and I feel like the problem which comes as in a gaming industry, I feel like those people can be very harsh about their opinions and very judgy about games, but still they are not willing to
Yeah.
understand games. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I can add here only like so I'm okay that more people playing games, and so even like people who are not so
it's good,
invested
don't
in
get me
terms of
wrong,
time.
it's
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
it's good, it just
But
has the
yeah,
bad
but
side
what?
as well.
Yeah, but what comes with it is what I think what you wanted to raise is companies, again, big companies, big game development studios, who are of course, due to their nature, they tend to appeal to a broader audience, right? And so that, and we see this, like we receive like every year, or right now it's actually like less than a year, it's like from the last Call of Duty it was only like 11 months
Yeah.
before another Call of Duty, and each year, and it's the same game, and it still like gets billions. Same with football games and
Yeah.
many others. Same like clones of Overwatch. It's like a joke right now. Like every game is like right now announces is like it's the same 5v5 multiplayer co-op, something like this.
Hero
It's
shooter, yeah.
yeah, and that's a bit of problem for indies too, because when you see such a broad audience, first of all, it's harder even to understand like who you're trying to focus as your audience.
True.
It's becomes more blurred and all that, and then you might like get in a trouble when something you made a game and maybe it's successful, and we saw it very often with review bombing, right? And this broad audience, they don't understand the game, or they have some different topics not really like related to your game, but something happened, maybe it's some woke propaganda topic,
True.
and you somehow got connected with it, and then now it becomes like people just like to bitch about something.
Yeah.
Basically what I'm trying to
Right
say,
word. Yeah.
and that's
True.
that's
True.
the masses like to do this, and it might get sometimes like, and this is what I receive from the game industry overall, even like not as a developer, also as a player myself. Like right now half of the games is just it's some topic for aggression and all that, and nobody really cares about the game itself, but about those discussions underneath it, like
Yeah,
in reviews or
exactly.
in
Exactly.
websites and
They are not
comments.
even willing
Yeah.
to try out the game. They are just making opinions about them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah.
think, like, as you mentioned, that these copy clone games, they are being made since the developers or the publishers are scared to use like very outstanding ideas that could, of course, go very hyped and could also go very bad? Because that's the topic that I discussed a lot about with a lot of people, that I feel like, especially in the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 era and the old PC golden age era, games were like, or let's say companies were more brave about delivering games, like we're touching
Mm-hmm.
very cool topics, like for example racism, love, war, etc. and
Mm-hmm.
and nowadays they are touching these topics, but not that, not that into your face way, let's
Mm-hmm.
say. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm always bringing up this example. Let's, like, as for the Last of Us Part 2, like it
Mm.
had like, and the first one as well, like it had very like touching moments about our real life issues, and people
Mm-hmm.
loved it and also hated it, because It's like it
Yeah,
was a mirror reflection to our humanity, to our human
yeah.
selves, and it's like, okay, it's like a joke to us to see ourselves in a mirror by a game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think it could be the case that these developers, most of them, of course, and publishers, are scared to, okay, let's do these our own ideas?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. I wouldn't be so sure, but recently I actually like it just coincidence. I watched a few videos actually like discussing these subjects, like why right now, for example, it's a real clear trend that big companies doing a lot of remakes or remasters,
Okay.
and it's also trouble. It feels like they they like step by step, but they're starting to become scared, even like producing next
True.
sequels to the
True.
like Call of Duty 25. They even scared of that, so they need what they can sell. They can sell nostalgia. That's why they make remakes and remasters. They feel like, okay, this is like guarantee money. We can just like update some graphics, and even some cases don't update graphics, right? Like just give a slider for high resolution and all that. Like it was with Battlefront and some, I don't remember, some this is Beyond Good and Evil right now. It's a remake. It should come like in next few weeks, I think, or it was already released.
It is out,
So
yeah, I think, yeah.
yeah, it's out. So and this is like it's okay for some new audience to try those games, or for older audience, I mean, who experienced those games back then, again to relive these moments. But definitely there is a trend. There like so little creativity right now in big companies, and yeah, for them again, it's just statistics. They basically make like a two Google sheets and compare possible outcomes. And what if we make like three Google spreadsheets? Okay, sorry, three, not two. It's like next Assassin's Creed game number 55. Okay, it will be remaster of Black Flag, and then maybe it's something new. Okay, and it's like with the who's making Assassin's Creed? Ubisoft, right? And with
Ubisoft, yeah.
Ubisoft, they look at about this new game and they see, okay, so but we remember this game we like released 5 years ago and nobody like remembers it, and it's we just lost money on it, and it was very new and cool and unique, and then like everyone, yeah, let's don't even discuss this, like let's choose from these two. And yeah, that's why they have two departments. One's making next Assassin's Creed game and one's making like previous Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
interesting that you
that's
said this series of Assassin's Creed, because like I remember the time when I used to play and used to fall in love with all the parts, the very
I
first
played
parts.
first and second one.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
played
remember this
first,
too.
second, Brotherhood, Revelations, and third. And at the third, I stopped playing. I didn't like
Mm,
what those which came after third one. I played
mm,
those, but I didn't like that
mm,
much. Since of course it's spoiler time for those who did not play third. But of course, our main hero in real life, Desmond.
mm,
Lost his way at the end of his life,
mm-hmm.
and it was very interesting to see. I remember Ubisoft was hinting like a hidden message in the credits that they will bring back Desmond in the next
Yeah, I remember
episode.
those. Yeah,
And there
news.
was
Yeah.
even a discussion on IGN in an article that, okay, Ubisoft will bring back Desmond, don't you worry. And they brought back, but in a way different way. And it was so weird to see that that was a very special about Assassin's Creed games or titles, about at least about those three or four or five, that there was a main hero who went into Animus, if I'm correct. That was the
Mm-hmm, yeah,
machine,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was Desmond, and he we could relate to that character in some way. And after that, they thought, okay, now change the topic. Everyone can sit into that mechanism
Yeah, yeah.
or a chair, and everyone can relive their past life. And for me, it was so stupid to see that they are changing this because, okay, they do not know anything else to say with that, and it missed, for me it was missing some key elements from the story, you know, by this decision, at least. And I know a lot
Yeah.
of people loved those games, those other games that came out. RPG system, collect all the treasures. I mean, why should I
Mm-hmm.
collect treasures? I'm collecting real money to, you know. So it's a grind fest for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying, why should I grind in games? I want to experience the story and you know, stealth
Mm-hmm.
section. So yeah, I can totally relate to that example of yours for Assassin's Creed games. Yeah, and like I'm
Mm-hmm.
always saying, I'm not saying for me it was a bad experience about newest parts for Assassin's Creed series. It's just like I was missing the key elements that those games
Mm-hmm.
had in the past. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's the same. I think I have the same feelings with Call of Duty series, but I think I left it very early actually. After the first part and the second part, it was so long ago. I played like World at War. I liked parts. I hated serious about like future for I don't know. I just don't like this topic of like future war. I loved about the Second World War. It was like the first, the second, and probably the fifth in the series. But yeah, I remember how I just suddenly understood that I'm losing interest and I'm not even like enjoying this at any sense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Okay, so going back to you as a developer, so what was the very favorite part about your life as a developer? If you can
Yeah.
pick up
Uh,
some.
yeah, I think just it will be like obvious for maybe for some people, but just talking with other developers, with people who played your game, just talking like as we do right now, I think discussing the subjects and discussing feedbacks, it feels it very special feeling. Like when it's not something like you are talking with a friend about TV show or about new episode of The Boys or something, right? It's we talking about what you did as a developer, and this is like very special kind of feeling. It feels sacred in a sense,
Sure.
almost like I don't know, well, sacred, yeah, religious experience. How people say, but I don't like this phrase. Although the game actually Selfless has a lot of religious topics, but yeah, I think just communicating with people, and discussing game development in general, and what you do and what others do. So yeah, I would feel this is very cool. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Nice. Okay. Okay, so one more question about
Of course.
especially self-loss. So there are whales, and
Yeah.
I am very interested. Like, what are the symbols
Yeah.
for as whales? Because,
Mm-hmm.
like I mentioned, I played Final Fantasy X, and the whale was a very interesting symbol there.
Mm-hmm.
Since it was like not only the symbol of life and the cycle of life, but
Mm-hmm.
it also was the very great power that always tried to destroy the world of Spira and like
Mm-hmm.
to change the world for the better by destroying it and have a start, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
even it was very interesting to experience in Final Fantasy X with the whale. Like it was like always a person who offered himself become a whale, like Tidus' father. If you
Mm.
played Final Fantasy X, I'm not sure. And
No.
you should.
No.
Okay, you
Yeah,
should.
okay. If it's available on PC, because I think the problem with me and
It
Final
is.
Fantasy that
It
I
is. I
didn't
think
have.
it is.
Ah,
It
okay,
is now. Yeah,
okay.
it's the remaster version. Yeah, and it was very
Okay.
interesting to see that symbol, since like everyone on a religious level thought that sin is bad. Like they called it
Mm-hmm.
sin, like the symbol
Mm.
of sinning, and it was very interesting to see that he's not even that bad like they thought. They realize it. So is it similar to your whale, or
I,
in
I,
a sense?
I, um, I don't know how to put it. It's not specifically symbolism. For me, whales and all other marine creatures that you can encounter in Self-Loss,
Okay.
you need to understand this like in terms of world building. Whales are basically the gods in this world,
Okay.
and actually all other marine creatures and like jellyfishes, right, and like small fishes too, and turtles. They're all somewhat like gods creatures or
Okay.
demigods. And for me, it was like almost like a learning topic. It was interesting for me as a developer to imagine the world where the religion will be based on worshiping sea creatures. So for those people there, it's not like fishes for us, for humans in real world, like whales. What we think about whales, well, it's an animal. No, they treat it like a gods. They don't understand their power. They can't really comprehend them. But at the same time, uh, for us, as I think it is just interesting dynamics, like the lore of the game and the like characters there, they feel they respond to them as gods. But we as a player, we see it from different viewpoint. Like whale, what symbol does it has? And I think it's just it's an interesting like psychological exercise
Okay.
to understand that for maybe like for aliens, I mean, what probably tried to achieve here, like if aliens comes out and they say hello, and we'll start like we show them like Christian religion, right, or any different religion, and we see, okay, here's Jesus, we believe in him. What do they think about it? Probably for them, it will be just okay. It's just another guy, as any of them. Why he's God? And we feel the same. It's like whales. Okay, we have whales in our world. It's just animals. But for them, it's gods and
Do
other
you
animal
think that
creatures,
that's
marine
what
creatures. Yeah.
we are missing from our real life? That we should like respect our surroundings and our nature more?
Yeah, it came eventually. The topic of ecology and overall relations between us and nature itself. It came during the development. It's at the middle of development process, I think, and so definitely ecology and its relation to
And
how people
what influenced
behave.
that? What influenced that?
Yeah. It's not. It's again. I'm not trying to put it in your face, like, and it's
Okay.
not even like the main topic of the game. I would say it's ecology. It's such a difficult topic. It probably what I wanted to deliver here is the idea is when you start to think about nature
Okay.
as a being in a sense. I probably it's a rough words, right? But maybe then you start to comprehend and understand it more, and you start to pay more attention for how you uh, protect the world around you, the
Okay.
nature, right? Yeah. So and the animals too. So that's one of those topics in the game. And whales here, yeah, it's no symbolism, just gods. But
I see.
it is like is this fish symbol, yeah, for races who live in the world of self-loss. Yeah, fish symbol is basically like a cross for us, for Christians.
Okay. Very nice. But it's very true for our real life as well that we do not understand nature in a way,
Yeah.
and it's very interesting to see that a lot of animals, I would say especially almost every animal has a skill that we do not have, and like whales and dolphins can communicate with each other, for example, and there are insects that can like, if I'm correct, to like replenish their skin and make a new,
Yeah.
so it's very interesting to see this topic brought up in your game, and it I think that it's also a topic that people will be able to relate to. It's very nice to see and hear that. Yeah. Do you think like if we could what would be the better word to describe it, if we would understand nature more, and we would be able to connect in a closer way, then we could also appreciate nature more and be aware of the problems that we are, of course, everyone is talking about, making green and and helping it, but but we are still not doing anything like in general.
Yeah, that's very very good words. Yeah, that's what I said. That's we are not doing anything.
It was harsh for me, I know, but it's true, right?
No, it's true. Yeah, I'm totally agree
like
with you.
It's more money propaganda, I guess. Big companies are making monies out from us.
Right now, it's
people are
definitely
naive.
Right now, it's very hard to distinguish. I would say it's really hard to distinguish like what's the proper way to treat in nature.
True.
Because of those business models, you
Give money.
already forgot about. Yeah. But no one like explains why, where are they will dispense, so and all that. Yeah, I would say, yeah, and you actually like you gave an idea in terms like I never understood that about the game. Although the story itself, the personal story of Casimir, of the main hero, is kind of sad and controversial even at the end, the narrative about ecology and all these topics is actually really positive. It's positive for the nature in terms of like nature inside the world of self-loss, uh, but not for, I would say, not for the people who live there. Yeah. So I think like my statement there is like if we don't want to pay attention to nature, nature then just will clean us from the planet. It's probably something like this, and I think it's in a sense even I think how it shows in the game it's even somewhat a good thing.
Yeah.
At least in from a standpoint of view like from animals and again.
Yeah, because like
environment. Yeah.
If we could see, and it will be also harsh for me to say, but like we would be the corruption to this nature, right?
Yeah. In a point.
In a point,
of course.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so why Casimir? So why?
Yeah,
it's his name. It's interesting to hear as well.
I wanted definitely to give him somewhat like soundy name, I would say, so that it would catch easily. And since for me inspiration in terms of setting, it was like Slavic folklore, but in Icelandic, somewhat Icelandic environment, right? To mix. I really don't like when people select like specific setting, like it's a common fantasy or it's cyberpunk or it's dark fantasy like Bloodborne, something like this.
Bugs.
I like to mix things. Yeah. I like to mix things, and for me, like Casimir is very Eastern European and Slavic also name, and I think actually like Kazimir Malevich, the painter, he's like king of supremacism and minimalism, and I don't know. I just felt why don't I just give the name to the hero to Casimir? It just feels related somewhat. So
Very
yeah, it had just yeah. It's not. I actually influenced by other artist paintings. It's well, obviously Van Gogh. It's all started. I remember I read through all of his letters to his brother Theo. There is like a collection of the letters published. Very good thing to read. Has a lot of great thoughts. And also to I don't remember the name of the artist. I'll probably send you the link later on. But all his paintings are about death and passion, and they're also like very minimalistic and weird in a sense. And I saw some of them in a gallery back when I started the game, and I was really inspired by them. But Kazimir Malevich itself, like everyone knows he's a like black square, right? But no, I wouldn't say that it's an inspiration. I thought that's just a cool nod to the name. Like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you mentioned the Slavic theme of the game. Was it like intentional from the very first hours that you started developing the game?
Yeah. And for me, like Slavic topic was like something that came by itself. I was born in the middle part of Russia. It's very like the place where a lot of birches and trees and lakes and forests. It's still like very not urban area.
I see.
To live in, and there's a lot of nature, and Iceland. I never been in Iceland, but I'm such a big fan of Sigur Rós band, and they're from Iceland, and they're also one of those inspirational sources for me. And I don't know, I just wanted to give this like respect to Iceland nature, and so that's why I mixed it. But Slavic, I would say Slavic has more place in terms of lore and game story, all those creatures like Baba Yaga and Kashey the Deathless and a lot of other creatures that you will see in the game. And Iceland gave some of those again mountains and all those waves and whales and all that. Yeah.
But it's a perfect mix, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah. Thank you. I think the same.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we discussed a lot of topics. Can you think of
Yeah.
like anything that wasn't on our minds and you would like to speak about?
I don't know. No, I think we covered a lot of them.
I know
Yeah, and very
I was
important
more
ones. So
like into personal details and questions. Sorry for
no,
that.
it's for me it's more interesting because
Okay,
I'm
okay.
a bit
I'm happy
tired
about
of
it. I'm happy
more
about
common.
it. I'm happy
Yeah,
about it.
definitely. I don't know. I just can't just suggest people who watching this like first time and never heard about the game just try the demo.
True.
I'm not even like saying wish list. Just try it and
Yes.
think about it and all that.
It's awesome. I can say that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so and as a collector of games, it will be the boring question.
Okay.
I will end up by asking the boring question. So are you planning to make also like a collector's edition for the game, or
Yeah, we have a discussion about with the publisher, and I hope we'll do because we have some great ideas. We have like I just want to point it out because again, lately it's a very like spicy topic about IE art, neural networks art, all that. We don't, of course, we don't use it. We think it's although I'm not this kind of person who says like we should ban IE from everywhere. I think it can be a great tool. It's just people not used to this idea yet, and it's not really legally.
Most of them are not understanding AI.
Yeah, definitely. That's also so true. But we have like Rita. She's our like art lead team member, and she draw so many cool collectible cards that you will find in the game as collectibles. And she also drew a very great map of the world overall. And I think having a map of the world for the fantasy team is super important, like in Lord of the Rings.
True.
And we discussed with the publisher. It's not 100% right now, but we wanted to have that the collector's edition will have this probably map of the game, maybe on some leather or at least on some special paper, and those collectible pages, collectible cards of the creatures from the game, and with like short descriptions. Yeah, so yeah, probably this, but I hope we'll make this one at least like some amount, some small amount. Yeah.
Let me know if it happens. I will be
of
first.
Course. Yeah.
Okay, so are you down to answer some community-oriented questions if they have some?
Of course.
It's late here at my place. It's almost 8, but yeah. Okay, if anyone has any question, let us know. 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 Please let us know. I know it's late, but it's late here, especially in Hungary. But yeah, let us know. Let us know. Let us know. Please let us know. We will wait.
There is one question was before. I don't know if you asked this. How can you find a publisher as an indie game dev, and how to find the best fit for you?
Oh yeah, true. Ogba asked it. Yeah.
Yeah, although it was quite a long time ago. Okay, so I like the very simple plan. I suggest you go to searching for a publisher at least when you have like small, what we say, vertical slice of the game. It's not necessarily should be like chronological demo of like the first 15 minutes of your game. It doesn't matter. It should be like a small prototype. It shows like all major game mechanics, or it should at least represent your like overall conceptual idea of your game in terms of like mechanics, art style. Even if it's rough and very like fresh, you not polished it enough. But if you like the moment you start to feel at least somewhat proud for your work, you can slowly like make a social account for your game on Twitter or on Instagram, whatever you prefer more. I know for some people it might be hard because some people, usually developers, tend to be more closed and like don't show everyone. So, but I really suggest you do and make a few posts, see how it goes, and maybe like subscribe and follow those publisher accounts. They're across all social networks, and just start to send the build of your vertical slice to them, and just wait for their feedback. Probably like 9 of 10, they will just say that your game is not ready, or the game is not in their like style. Usually, what they say. So, but in the style of their projects lineup, I mean. But you just need to try and and do iterations on your prototype. Maybe make it better. Ask your friends, ask your whatever relatives, parents to play it if they can play it. So yeah, that's my suggestion.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, any more questions that we missed? Maybe. Let me see. Feel free to ask any questions. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Yeah, usually around this time people are like lurking, so yeah.
Yeah,
And
no,
as for
not a
music, like what was the idea behind making the music for the Self-Loss? Like, what influences did the team and you had to make
So
OST
yeah,
for the
initially
game?
I thought that I will write all tracks for the game myself, but I felt that again I don't have enough time to make game in a proper state of
Okay.
quality, and yeah, I started to talk with different composers. Usually they write themselves. It's very there is plenty of indie composers who want to work on your game. Sometimes it's free, but I couldn't find the proper one for a long time, and it's until I met with not met but met online Arikta. It's a German dark ambient experimental band. They're quite popular in I think in their country, but not overall. But I enjoyed their music very much. I listened to them like for a few years until I just followed them on Twitter, and they followed me back, which just start chatting. It was just a miracle, and I suggested them to try write a track for Self-Loss, and that's how it's all started. And I think right now they have like for the game in total they wrote about 40 or 50 tracks, but we will use only like 20 or so in the final release. Yeah, it's very great music, and the track that you hear in the end of the demo with vocals, beautiful female vocals. It's also the girl from Norway, or no, it's from how you say it? It's Dania, but Deutsch language is from what country? Deutsch. No, Deutsch is German, right?
German, yeah, Germany, yeah.
No, but she's okay. She sang it in I think in Deutsch, but she's actually like, not from Norway, but country nearby. It's let me see, Denmark, right? Denmark. It's English.
Denmark.
Yeah, she's from, but I think she's from Denmark, and yeah, they had a collaboration with this band, and yeah, this track was specifically written for Self-Loss. Yeah, so and yeah, it's I like in those guys that they really listen to my wishes, basically. What I say.
And do you believe like in perfect synergy between team members? Like, especially you mentioned you were searching for bands, composers, like even not knowing each other, still having those people who has the synergy with you? Do you believe in that?
I would say like in such creative topic as music, because I have like a colleague who worked on the game and working right now on different project, but with us, I mean, like for our next project. But for example, with him, he's like a programmer guy and more like technical guy, helping me with programming stuff. I'm not perfectly on the same wave as him in terms of maybe like tastes in games.
I see.
But we have a lot of common in different topics, even like in humor, in the sense of humor. But with music, I think it's really important to be on the same wave in the artistic style and what you want to express. And with those guys, yeah, it definitely, I very quickly understood that this is it. This is the guys, and they felt the same. We like the same music. We like the same hosts for movies and for different games, and yeah, we understood each other very quickly.
Nice.
That's why I say it's really a miracle, because it's hard. I worked with like maybe 10 different other composers throughout a year or two, and it was always like a miss. Yeah, it's very hard to find a proper one.
I see. Okay. Oh yeah, you got a response as well. Thank you so much for the advice and wish luck with Selfless. It looks amazing. The art is really interesting and gorgeous. Did you make it by yourself or you have 3D artists? And the last question,
Yeah.
which engine are you using? These two questions.
Yeah, so it's Unreal Engine 4, not 5. It's but I initially, like for the first 2 years, I was making fully alone, and a lot of content from the game. You can still find some models and textures that were lived throughout those years and were made by me, but after a certain time, I met Rita, and she's much better at making models, and specifically character models and textures and environment design in some places. So she's in charge, but like all content in the game, it's not assets, it's all in-house made, what we say. Yeah, so, and I also have Dima, Dmitry, he's our like, he's the guy to do some programming, which I don't like to do.
I see. The hardware programming.
Yeah,
code
yes,
guy.
yes, I would say so. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Thank you. Okay, is there any more questions? Feel free to ask. Feel free to do that. You're welcome, Ogba. You're welcome. Let us know. We will wait for like 1 or 2 minutes, and if not, then yeah, we discussed a lot of topics, and I'm very thankful that you were very open about like personal things
of course.
as well. Because
yeah.
I can tell you that I was a bit afraid, but but
no,
I'm very happy that...
I think sincerity is very important to have, like for each person.
True.
I think it's just when you are more sincere, you can there like less damage can be done to you.
True,
No one can hurt you. No one can like upset you if you're sincere and open to everyone. Like you have nothing to hide and all that.
I totally agree with you. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. We discussed a lot of topics. Like I said a lot of times. I'm very thankful and very honored that you were here.
Thank you very much.
And
thank you very much.
Like I said, I will take some of your minutes more after the stream. But for those who will watch back the VOD or watched us live, thank you everyone who joined us. And yeah, have a great evening out there or daytime, depending where you live. Bye everyone. Thank you.